Absolutely. Here's part 6 of your story. The galaxy was dominated by predators, till humans changed everything. It's written in third person, using simple and basic English. No headings, just a clean, engaging narrative. The stars burned cold and distant above New Carson, but the people below were no longer looking up in fear. They were looking up with purpose. The raid on the Varix base had changed everything. News of the attack had spread fast through the galaxy. It had not been a lucky strike. It had not been a mistake. It had been a message. Humans were not prey. And now, others were starting to notice. On a trading station orbiting a blue gas giant, a Sarin merchant named Niravel sat in a small room filled with glowing screens and quiet voices. The station was full of traders, diplomats, and spies. It was a place where secrets were bought and sold, like fuel and food. Nir watched the latest reports come in. The humans had not only survived the first Varix attack, they had struck back. And they had done it with skill, speed, and heart. She leaned back in her chair and smiled. "They're not just surviving," she whispered. "They're rising." A voice behind her spoke. "You think they can keep this up?" Nira turned. Was a Thrak trader, a tall, rough-looking alien with scars across his arms and a deep voice. "They don't have to keep it up forever," she said. "Just long enough to change the game." The Thrak man thought for a moment, then he nodded. "I've heard stories. Other Thrak are talking. Some say the humans are dangerous. Yes. Others say they're worth watching." Nira raised an eyebrow. "Watching or working with?" The Thrak smiled, showing sharp teeth. "Maybe both." On New Carson, life had changed. The colony was no longer just a small human outpost. It was now something more, a symbol, a home, a base for something bigger. Logan Reyes stood on the edge of the landing field, watching the sky. Ships came and went more often now. Not just human ones. A small Sarin shuttle had arrived the day before. It carried supplies, tools, and messages. Some of them were warnings. Some were offers. Kara Ellis walked up beside him, holding a data pad. "We've got a few more ships on the way," she said. Logan looked at her. "From who?" "Some are from other human colonies," she said. "A few are from independent traders, and one is from a Thrak defector." Logan frowned. "A Thrak defector?" "Yeah," Kara said. "Says he wants to help us." Logan shook his head. "This is getting real." Kara smiled. "It was always real. We just didn't know how real." The Thrak defector arrived the next day. His name was Gruck, and he was not like the others. He did not carry weapons. He did not talk like a warrior. He talked like someone who had seen too much and wanted to survive. He met with Logan and Kara. "In the command center, I was a Thrak slaver," Gruck said. "I took what we wanted. I sold what we didn't need." Logan looked at him. "So why are you here?" Gruck sighed.
Fuck.
"Because I saw what your kind can do. I saw what you did to the Varix. And I know what's coming." Logan leaned forward. "What's coming?" the other predator species, Gruck said. "The Varix are not the only ones who rule this part of the galaxy. There's the Zorathi, the Kator, the Thrak. And others, they all see you now. You're not sure what to do." Kara looked at him. "Do they want to fight us?" "Some do," Gruck said. "Others are scared. Others are curious." Logan nodded. "Like you." Gruck smiled. "Yes. Like me, in the cold dark of space, the predator species were meeting. It was not a formal meeting. It was not a peaceful one. It was a secret gathering of the strongest, the smartest, and the most dangerous. The Varix warlords were there. So were the leaders of the Thrak slaver clans. The Zorathi hive mind sent its voice. Even the Kator, a warlike species known for their brutal tactics, sent a representative. They sat in a dark room on a hidden station, watching reports, listening to messages, and trying to understand what was happening. "The humans are growing," said one of the Vorix warlords. "They are not just surviving. They are building. They are training. They're fighting back." "Then we crush them," said a Thrak leader. "Not yet," said the Zorathi voice, which came from a single speaker, though it was the voice of many minds. "They are not like other prey. They adapt. They learn. They change. They are. Meat, said the Kachor leader. Meat cannot rule, said the Virex warlord, but meat can bite. There was silence. Then the Thrak leader spoke again. We should watch. We should learn. If they are a threat, we deal with them. If they are useful, we use them. The others nodded. Double quotes for now, the Virex warlord said. We watch. Back on New Carson, the colony was preparing for what was next. Logan and Kara worked with the new arrivals. They trained pilots, they built better ships, improved their weapons. GRUK helped where he could. He taught them how the Thrak fought. He showed them how the predator species thought. They don't just fight, he said one night. They plan. They wait. They strike when you're weakest. Logan looked at him. Then we make sure we're never weak. Gruk smiled. Good, that's the first step. One day a new ship arrived. It was not human. It was not Saren. It was not THRA. It was small, fast, and silent. Logan and Kara met the pilot in the landing field. The pilot stepped out wearing a dark suit and a calm face. He looked human, but he wasn't. His name was Raylith, and he was from the Zorathi hive mind. I am here to observe, he said. To learn? Logan looked at Kara. She looked at him. You're here alone? She asked. For now, Raylith said. If you are what the reports say, then we must understand you. Logan nodded. Then start learning. Far away in the halls of the Virex homeworld, the warlords were not idle. Zeovac stood before his council, looking at the reports. The humans grow, he said. Others follow them. They are not alone anymore. Then we strike, said one of the warlords. Zeovac smiled. Yes, but not yet. He looked at the stars. First, we let them think they are winning. The galaxy was watching. The humans were not just surviving, they were changing the game, and the predators were starting to feel it. Absolutely. Here's part 5 of your story. The galaxy was dominated by predators until humans changed everything. It's written in third person using simple and basic English. In approximately 1,400 words long, no headings. Just a clean, engaging narrative. The Virex warlord Kathrak's body had been buried in the cold halls of the Virex homeworld. His death had been a shock, but not a tragedy. Among the Virex, only strength mattered. Weakness was buried, not mourned. Now in the war chamber, a new leader stood before the Council of Warlords. His name was Zorvac, and he was known for his rage and his love of battle. He had fought in 100 wars, crushed a dozen enemies, and never backed down. He looked at the report in his hands. It was short, but it burned in his mind. The humans of New Carson have adapted. They have improved their ships. They have trained pilots. They have defeated a pirate vessel. They're no longer prey. Zorvac crushed the report in his fist. Then we make them prey again, he growled. Back on New Carson. The colony was changing. The people were no longer just miners, engineers, and scientists. They were something more now. They were fighters. They were builders. They were survivors. Logan Reyes stood on the edge of the colony looking at the sky. The stars were the same, but the world below had changed. Kara Ellis walked up beside him. She was holding a data pad filled with notes and diagrams. We're almost ready, she said. Logan looked at her. Ready for what? For the next step, he sighed. I was afraid you'd say that. Kara smiled. You knew it was coming. Logan nodded. He did know. They couldn't just defend forever. They couldn't just wait for the next attack. They had to strike first. They had to prove that humans were not just survivors. They were warriors. The plan was simple, but bold. They had learned from the Virex dropship that had attacked them. They had studied its systems, its weapons, its flight patterns, and they had found something important. The Virex had a small base on a nearby moon. It was not a major outpost, but it was a key location. It held fuel, weapons, and a shipyard where they repaired damaged fighters. Logan and Kara had a plan. They would hit it hard. They would destroy it, and they would send a message. The night before the raid, the colony was quiet. People moved in silence. The pilots checked their ships. The engineers made sure the weapons worked. The medics packed supplies. Logan stood in the command center, looking at the map of the moon. It was a barren rock, with only one major base. We're surrounded by cliffs and deep canyons. The only way in was from the sky. Kara walked in. We're ready. Logan looked at her. Are we? She nodded. As ready as we'll ever be. He looked at the team. Danny Cruz, Jake Morrow, Tina Cruz, and a few others. They were not soldiers. They were not trained for this, but they had heart, and they had courage. Logan stood up. This is not just a mission. It's a statement. We are not prey. We are not weak. We are not afraid. He looked at each of them. We go in fast, hit hard, and we get out clean. No mistakes, no hesitation. They nodded. Logan turned to the door. Let's fly. The ships lifted off under the cover of darkness. They were fast, small, and modified with alien tech. Kara had worked hard to make them better. They had new engines, new weapons, and crude but working energy shields. They flew low, skimming. The surface of New Carson then jumped into space. The moon was not far. It took only a few hours to reach it. As they approached, the base came into view. It was a dark shape on the surface, surrounded by jagged rocks and deep shadows. Logan looked at the others. This is it. They dove in. The first wave of ships dropped out of warp and opened fire. The Varix base was caught off guard. Alarms blared. Lights flashed. Soldiers ran for cover. Logan's team followed. They flew through the chaos, dodging enemy fire. Danny flew close behind Logan, covering his flank. I see targets, Danny shouted. Hit them, Logan yelled. Danny fired. Varix's turret exploded in a flash of fire. The base was waking up. Varix fighters launched from hidden hangars. Were fast, sleek, and deadly. Logan's team split up. They weaved through the sky, dodging enemy fire, hitting targets. Kara's voice came over the comms. I'm in position. Logan looked. At the screen, she was near the fuel depot. Do it, he said. Kara pressed a button. Small drone, loaded with explosives. Shot forward and hit the depot. The explosion lit up the sky. That's for the last attack, Kara said. Logan smiled. Nice work. The battle was not easy. One of their ships was hit. It crashed into the cliffs, fire rising from the wreckage. 2 of their pilots were lost. Logan felt the weight of it. But he couldn't stop. They had one more target. The shipyard. Logan dove low, flying through the canyons. The Virex fighters followed, firing at him. He saw the shipyard ahead. It was a large structure with damaged ships being repaired. He lined up his shot. This is for New Carson, he said. He fired the missile, hit the main power core. The shipyard exploded in a fireball. The sky turned red. Logan pulled up, flying fast out of the smoke. We did it, Danny said. Logan looked at the burning base. Yeah, we did. They flew back to New Carson as heroes. The colony welcomed them with cheers. People ran to meet them. The wounded were taken to the medics. Logan stepped out of his ship, tired but proud. Kara walked up to him. You okay? Ain't. Nodded. Just tired. She looked at the sky. They'll know now. Logan looked at her. Know what? That we're not just defending, we're fighting back. Logan smiled. Good. Far away, in the cold halls of the Varix homeworld, the message had been received. New Carson has struck a Varix base. The base is destroyed. The humans have proven they are not prey. Zorvac read the message in silence. Then he crushed it in his fist. This is war, he growled. The warlords around him nodded. Then we answer, one said. With fire, another added. Zorvac looked at the stars. Yes, we answer with fire. Meat had bitten now. The Varix would bite. Back harder. Absolutely. Here's part 4 of your story. The galaxy was dominated by predators till humans changed everything. Written in third person using simple and basic English. Approximately 1,400 words long. No headings. Just a clean, engaging narrative. Logan Reyes stood in the command room, staring at the screen. The message from the Saren ship still played on loop. This is Saren diplomatic vessel Silver Wind. We come in peace. We seek contact with the humans of New Carson. Logan rubbed his eyes. He had been up all night, and the weight of what was happening pressed down on him like a heavy coat. Kara Ellis walked in, holding 2 cups of coffee. She handed one to Logan. "You look like hell," she said. "Thanks," he said, taking a sip. "So what do we do?" Kara looked at the screen. "We talk to them. Just like that. Just like that," Logan sighed. Had fought off an alien warship, but talking to a diplomat scared him more. The Silver Wind hovered above New Carson, its smooth silver hull reflecting the red light of the distant sun. It was not a warship. It was not built for battle. It was built for trade, for peace, for talking. Inside, Niravel stood near the main console. She was a young Saren diplomat, with long silver hair and sharp blue eyes. She had studied many species, but never humans, until now. She turned to her pilot. "Prepare the shuttle." "You're going down?" he asked. "Yes," she said. "Alone. That's dangerous." So as not knowing what we're dealing with, Nira walked to the shuttle bay. She stepped inside the small craft and powered it up. The bay doors opened, and the shuttle dropped toward the surface. Logan and Kara waited at the landing zone. A small group of colonists stood behind them. Everyone was watching. Everyone was nervous. The shuttle landed with a soft hiss. The hatch opened, and Nira stepped out. She was tall, with pale skin and a calm smile. She raised her hands, showing she meant no harm. Logan stepped forward. "You're from the Silver Wind?" "Yes," Nira said. Her voice was soft but clear. "I am Nira Vel, diplomat of the Saren Concord. I come in peace." Logan looked at Kara. She gave a small nod. "Okay," Logan said. "Then let's talk." They sat in the command center around the same table where the council met. The lights flickered, the coffee was weak, but Nira seemed unbored. Logan started. "You came here because of the fight." "Yes," Nira said. "Virex do not lose easily. They do not retreat." Logan and Kara exchanged a look. "So you know about that?" Kara said. "Yes," Nira said, "and so do others." Logan frowned. "What do you mean?" "The Virex are not the only ones watching," she said. "The Thrak, the Zorathi, the Katora, they all know what happened." Logan felt a chill. He had barely survived one fight. Now he was being watched by more than one enemy. "So, what do we do?" he asked. Nira looked at him. "You adapt." Kara leaned forward. "You think we can fight them all?" "No," Nira said. "But you can learn. You can grow. You can become more than prey." Logan looked at her. "Think we're prey to them," she said. "You are?" "Yeah, but you don't have to be." The next few days were full of talks, tests, and work. Nira shared what she knew. The galaxy was not kind to weak species. It was ruled by the strong, the smart, and the ruthless. The Virex were only one of many predator species. There were others, many others. Logan and Kara listened, asked questions, and tried to understand what they were up against. Meanwhile, the colonists got to work. They used the alien tech from the wreck to improve their defenses. Kara led the effort, working with engineers and techs to build better weapons, better shields, and better ships. Logan focused on training. He gathered a small group of volunteers, people who had flown before, people who had handled weapons, people who were willing to fight. He trained them in the old transport, in the small ships they had. They learned how to move, how to fight, how to survive. One of them was Danny Cruz, a young pilot with fast hands and a big heart. He had no combat experience, but he was a good flyer. Logan saw something in him, something like hope. Weeks passed, the colony changed. They built new defenses, simple but effective. They set up warning sensors, placed old railguns in key spots, and built hidden shelters. They improved their ships. They added new power cores, better thrusters, crude but working energy shields. They trained every day. Logan led the pilots. Kara led the techs. Danny and others learned quickly. Enera stayed with them, helping where she could. She didn't fight, but she shared knowledge. She taught them how to read predator tactics, how to think like the enemy. They expect you to. Panic, she said one night. They expect you to run. Don't give them what they want. Logan nodded. We won't. One day, a new test came. A pirate ship dropped out of warp near the colony. It was small, but fast. It scanned the area, looking for easy prey. Logan saw it on the sensors. We've got company, he said. Kara looked at him. You want to fight it? Yes, Logan said. But not like last time. He gathered the team. Danny, Jake, Tina, and a few others. They climbed into the improved ships and took off. The pirate ship fired first. It was fast, but not ready for what came next. Logan's ship dove low, avoiding the shots. Danny flanked the enemy. Jake fired from behind. Kara's new tech worked. The pirate ship's sensors jammed. Shields flickered. Logan lined up a shot and fired. The pirate ship exploded in a flash of fire. They returned to the colony as heroes. Logan looked at the sky. We're getting better, Kara smiled. We're just getting started. Meanwhile, far away, the Orcs were not idle. A new ship had been sent to the edge of the system. It was not alone. It had a message. The humans are not prey, the report said. They are a threat. Back on the Varex's homeworld, the warlords read the message. Then we crushed them, High Warlord said. Not yet, the diplomat said again. They are learning. They are growing. We must watch. The warlords did not like waiting. They knew one thing. Meat had teeth, and now it was learning how to bite. Let me know if you'd like this in a downloadable .docs or PDF format, or if you're ready for part 5 next. Absolutely. Here's part 3 of your story. The galaxy was dominated by predators until humans changed everything. It's written in third person using simple and basic English, around 1,400 words long. No headings, just a clean, engaging narrative. The sky above New Carson was dark again. But the stars didn't shine as bright. Smoke still rose from the edge of the colony, and the smell of burned metal hung in the air. April moved in. Silence, fixing what they could, helping the injured, and trying not to think about what had just happened. Logan Reyes stood near the edge of the colony, looking out at the wreckage of the Varex's dropship. It was half buried in the dirt, its hull cracked and still smoking. He had never seen a real alien warship up close before, and now he had helped bring one down. Kara Ellis walked up beside him. Her face was covered in soot, and her hands were shaking. A little, you okay? Logan asked. Yeah, she said. Just trying to wrap my head around this. Logan nodded. Me too. They had done the impossible. They had fought back against something far more advanced than them, and won. But Logan knew it wasn't over. It was just the beginning. Inside the colony's command center, the council had gathered. It was a small room with a long table in the middle. Maps and tech diagrams covered the walls. The lights flickered, and the air smelled like old wires and coffee. Logan, Kara, Jake Morrow, and Tina Cruz sat with the council. They were not leaders, but they had been the ones in the sky. They had seen what happened. We need to know what we're dealing with, said Mayor Elliott, the head of the colony. He was an older man, with gray hair and tired eyes. Well, those things came here for a reason. Logan leaned forward. It came because we touched their ship. You think that dropship was a response team? Asked Councilwoman Morris. Think it was the first wave, Logan said. They saw we had disturbed the wreck, and they came to make sure we didn't get a second chance. There was silence for a moment. So what do we do? Asked a young engineer named Ryan. Logan looked at Kara. She knew more about the alien tech than anyone. She sighed. We study what we found. We learn what we can. We prepare for the next attack. Because there will be one, Logan added. Far away in the cold dark of space, the Varex's were not happy. The wreckage of the dropship had sent a final signal before it crashed. A message had reached the Varex's homeworld, and it had been read by the warlords who ruled the species. Commander Ketherick had not survived the crash. His body had been found by the retrieval team still in the wreckage. His final words had been simple. Asterisk, the meat fights back. Asterisk, in the great halls of the Vorex's High Command, the warlords gathered. They were tall, with dark armor and glowing red eyes. They were not used to being challenged. They were not used to losing. Humans, one of them said, voice low and full. Of anger, a primitive species, barely off their rock. And they brought down a Vorex dropship. With help, another said. They used alien tech. Something from the wreck, and they are scavengers, said the High Warlord. A massive figure with scars across his chest. And scavengers must be put down. Not yet, said a voice from the shadows. A figure stepped forward. He was different from the others. His armor was sleeker, his eyes sharper. He was a diplomat, one of the few Vorex who spoke for more than war. We should learn more, he said. This is not just a scavenger problem, this is a shift. A shift, the High Warlord growled. Yes, the diplomat said. The balance of power in this sector may be changing. We should not rush in blind. The warlords looked at each other. They did not like caution, but they liked failure even less. Fine, the High Warlord said. Send a scout. Learn what you can, but if these humans are a threat, we crush them. The diplomat bowed. Of course. Meanwhile, in other parts of the galaxy, the news was spreading. The Sarin Concord, a neutral trading species, had picked up the signal from the crash. They were not warriors. They were traders, diplomats, and messengers. They had seen many species rise and fall. A Sarin ship drifted near the edge of their space, its smooth silver hull reflecting the stars. Inside, a young diplomat named Nira. Vel watched the data stream across her screen. Humans, she said to herself. Interesting. She had heard of them before, a young species scattered across the frontier, not yet noticed by the big powers. But now they had fought back against the Vorex. They must be watched, she said. She sent a message to her superiors. She wanted to go to New Carson. She wanted to see these humans for herself. Back on New Carson, life was slowly returning. To normal, people were rebuilding. The fires were out. The wounded were being treated. But the fear was still there. Logan and Kara worked nonstop in the lab, trying to understand the alien tech they had salvaged. They had found more data, more tools, and a few strange weapons that still didn't make sense. This is not just military tech, Kara said one night, as they studied a glowing panel. This is something else, something advanced. It looked at her like, what? I don't know, she said. But it's not just weapons. It's strategy, tactics. They were built for war, but they were also built to win. Logan frowned. You think they're planning something bigger? Maybe, she said. Or maybe they already won. Logan didn't like the sound of that one. A signal came. It was not from Earth. It was not from any human station. It was alien. The colony's comms officer, a quiet man named Davy, picked it up. You're not going to believe this, he said, running into the lab. Logan and Kara looked up. What is it? Kara asked. Someone's trying to talk to us. Logan walked over to the console. The signal was weak, but clear. They're sending a message, Davy said. Logan listened as the voice came through, soft, calm, and not threatening. This is Sarin, diplomatic vessel Silver Wind. We come in peace. We seek contact with the humans of New Carson. Logan looked at Kara. She looked just as surprised. Well, she said, looks like we're not invisible anymore. Logan nodded. Guess not. Yeah. He looked out the window. At the stars above, they had fought back once. Now, the galaxy was watching, and the game had just changed. Let me know if you'd like this in a downloadable .docx or PDF format, or if you're ready for part 4 next. Absolutely. Here's part 2 of your story. The galaxy was dominated by predators, till humans changed everything. It's written in third person, using simple and basic English. And approximately 1,400 words long, no headings, just a clean, engaging narrative. The wind howled across the rocky plains of New Carson as the sun dipped below the horizon. The sky turned a deep purple, and the stars blinked into view. Inside the colony's main lab, Logan Reyes and Kara Ellis worked under the soft glow of overhead lights. The alien tech they had brought back filled the room. Strange tools, glowing panels, and a few small black devices that looked like weapons but no one knew how to use. They had been at it for days, trying to understand what they had found. Logan wiped sweat from his brow and looked at the screen in front of him. Lines of alien text scrolled by. Symbols that twisted and changed like they were alive. "This isn't just a ship," Kara said, sitting across from him. "It's a warship, or at least part of one." Logan frowned. "You sure?" "Almost," she said. "The systems, the layout, it's built for combat. It's not exploration, not trade." Logan leaned back in his chair. The idea didn't sit right with him. New Carson was small, isolated, and barely holding on. If they had stumbled onto something military, they might have made a mistake they couldn't undo. Outside, life in the colony went on. People moved through the dusty streets, fixing machines, tending to the greenhouses, and trying to keep the power running. No one knew what Logan and Kara had found. And no one knew that far away, in the cold dark of space, someone had seen it. The Viewership were not a patient people. They were tall, with dark armored skin and eyes that glowed red in the dark. They lived for war, and they ruled through fear. Their ships were fast, their weapons were brutal, and their enemies rarely lived long enough to regret crossing them. A small patrol ship drifted near the edge of their territory. Its sensors had picked up the signal from the wreck on New Carson, a silent beacon left behind by the dead crew of the warship. The beacon had gone silent for years, but now it had been disturbed. The Vorex's commander, Kethrock, watched the data stream across his screen. His jaw tightened. "The wreck has been touched," he said, voice low and growling. "By what?" He turned to the pilot. "Set course for the signals. Origin. We deal with this quickly." The ship turned, engines flaring, and vanished into the stars. Back on New Carson, the first sign of trouble came at night. Logan was in the control tower, helping Jake Morrow with a routine systems check. The lights flickered for a second, then steadied. Logan frowned. "Did you see that?" "Saw what?" Jake asked. "The lights. They dimmed." "Probably just a power spike," Jake said. "Nothing new." Logan wasn't so sure. He looked out the window. The sky was clear, the stars bright, but something felt off. Then the alarm sounded. It was a deep, blaring noise that echoed through the colony. Red lights flashed. People stopped what they were doing and looked up. "What the hell?" Logan said, running to the console. Kara burst into the room, her face pale. "We've got movement in the upper atmosphere." "What kind of movement?" Logan asked. Double quotes fast. "Big." They ran outside. Others were already there, looking up. In the sky, a shape was descending. It was dark, sleek, and moving fast. It left a trail of fire behind it. "That's not one of ours," Jake said. "No," Logan said. "It's not." The ship dropped lower, its engines roaring. It hovered above the colony, casting a long shadow. Then, without warning, it fired. A beam of red light shot down and hit the edge of the settlement. The ground exploded in fire and smoke. People screamed. Alarms blared louder. "Get to cover," Logan shouted. They ran as the ship circled around. Another blast hit near the storage. Tanks. Fuel spilled out, catching fire. The heat was intense. "What the hell do we do?" Tina Cruz yelled over the noise. Logan looked around. There was no defense system, no weapons, no plan for this. They were defenseless. But then he saw the ship, the old transport they had used. To find the alien wreck, it was still in the hangar, along with a few other small craft. "We can't fight them," Logan said, "but maybe we can slow them down." "How?" Kara asked. "Distract them." She looked at him like he was crazy. "You want to fly up there and shoot at a warship?" She said. "Not shoot," Logan said. "Fly around, draw fire, make them. Waste time." Kara shook her head. "That's insane." "We don't have a choice." She looked at the burning colony, at the people running for shelter. Then she nodded. Double quotes. "Fine. But if we die, I'm haunting you first." They ran to the hangar. The place was chaos. People were trying to move supplies, get the wounded out, protect what was left. Logan and Kara climbed into the old transport. Jake followed. "You're not flying without me," he said. Logan smiled. "Wouldn't dream of it." They powered up the ship. The engines groaned. The lights flickered, but it worked. "Clear the hangar," Logan shouted. The doors opened, and the ship shot into the sky. The Virax dropship was fast, agile, and built for war. It was tearing through the colony with ease. But now, something changed. The human ship appeared on its sensors, small, slow, and weak. "Target acquired," the Virax pilot said. "Eliminated." Catherick ordered. The dropship turned and fired. The human ship dodged. "Barely. Damn it." Jake said that was close. Logan was at the controls, hands tight on the stick. "We just need to keep moving." Kara was at the weapons panel. The ship had nothing but a basic railgun and a few old missiles. But she had been working on something, a prototype, something she had built from the alien tech they had found. "I might have something," she said. "What kind of something?" "A pulse might knock out their sensors." "Do it." Kara pressed a button. A small device on the side of the ship lit up. It hummed, then fired. A burst of energy shot out, invisible but powerful. The Virax dropship's sensors went dark. What happened? Catherick growled. "Systems are down," the pilot said. "Find them." The human ship dove low, weaving through the rocky terrain. The Virax ship tried to follow, but without sensors it was blind. "Now," Logan shouted. Kara fired the railgun. The shot hit the dropship's engine. Fire burst from the engine. The ship spun out of control. "We got it," Jake said. But it wasn't over. The dropship crashed, but not before sending out a final signal, far away. In Virax space, another ship picked up the distress call. Enemy action, unknown force, colony intact. The Virax fleet commander read the message and smiled. "So, the meat has teeth."
Ow.
The colony was damaged, but not destroyed. People worked through the night to put out fires, help the injured, and rebuild what they could, Logan. Kara and Jake stepped out of their ship, tired and shaken. "We survived," Jake said. "Barely," Kara said. Logan looked at the sky. "They'll be back." "They'll what?" "They'll come back," Logan said. "And next time, they'll bring more." Kara looked at him. "And we'd better be ready." Logan nodded. "We will be." Turned and walked back toward the colony. Behind them, the stars burned cold and distant, but something had changed. Meat had fought back, and it had won. For now, let me know if you'd like this in a downloadable .PDF format, or if you're ready for part 3 next. Sure, below is part 1 of your story. The galaxy was dominated by predators, till humans changed everything, written in third person, using simple and basic English. It's around 1,400 words, and follows the outline we discussed. I've kept the tone engaging, easy to read. And in line with the HFY humans' fuck yeah spirit, the stars burned cold and distant above. The rocky surface of New Carson. It was a small colony built on the edge of known space, orbiting a dim red sun. The air was thin, the ground was rough, and the nights were long. For the people who lived there, it was home. New Carson had been started by a mix of scientists, engineers, and dreamers. They came from Earth, from Mars, from the old lunar stations. They came to build something new. They didn't have much. Their ships were old, their tools were worn, and their tech was a patchwork of old designs and new ideas. But they worked hard, they worked together, and they believed in the future. Logan Reyes was one of them. He was a field tech, a man with calloused hands and a sharp mind. He had grown up on Earth, in a small town where the sky was always gray, and the air was always thick. He had left home young, looking for something more. New Carson gave it to him. He spent his days fixing machines, building shelters, and keeping the colony alive. He worked with a small team, moving from one job to the next, always ready to solve the next problem. He wasn't a soldier. He wasn't a hero. He was just a man trying to make a life. One day, Logan and his team were sent on a survey mission. They were told there might be old mining equipment left behind by a failed colony from decades ago. If they could find it, they could salvage parts, maybe even fuel. It was a long trip, across the rocky plains of the planet's southern hemisphere. The team was small. Logan, Kara Ellis, Jake Morrow, and Tina Cruz. Kara was the engineer, the one who could fix anything with a screwdriver and a bit of luck. She was smart, stubborn, and never backed down from a challenge. Jake was the pilot, a quiet man with a steady hand and a deep love for old ships. Tina was the medic, always ready with a joke or a bandage depending on what was needed. They flew, in an old transport ship, one that had seen better days. The engines groaned, the lights flickered, and the seats were uncomfortable. But it flew, and that was all that mattered. As they flew, they scanned the terrain below. The land was rough, full of jagged rocks and deep cracks in the ground. There were no trees, no rivers, just dust and stone. It was a harsh place, but it held secrets. After hours of flying, the scanner picked up something unusual. It was a large object, buried under the dust. It wasn't natural. It didn't match any known geological patterns. Logan leaned forward, eyes fixed on the screen. "What do you think it is?" Tina asked. "Not sure," Logan said. "Could be a wreck. It could be something else." They landed near the object. The dust swirled around them as the ship touched down. They stepped out into the cold air, their suits keeping them warm. The ground was hard, and the wind howled softly in the distance. They followed the scanner to the object. As they got closer, they saw it was a ship, but not a human one. It was long and curved, like a blade of metal frozen in time. It was covered in strange symbols, lines that glowed faintly in the dim light. "This isn't ours," Kara said, running her hand over the surface. "This is alien." Logan looked at the others. They were all thinking the same thing. They had heard stories, of course. Rumors of alien ships found in the outer systems, of strange signals picked up by deep space probes. But this was real. This was here. They worked quickly, setting up lights and tools. They found a hatch, sealed tight but not broken. Carl worked on it, using a mix of human and scavenged tools. After a few minutes, the hatch hissed open, and a wave of cold air rushed out. Inside, the ship was dark. The walls were smooth, made of a material they couldn't identify. There were no signs of life, no bodies, no movement. It was silent, like a tomb. They moved carefully, checking every room. The ship was big, but most of it was empty. They found a control room, filled with strange panels and screens. Kara started taking notes, trying to understand the layout. "This is advanced," she said. "Way beyond anything we've seen." Logan nodded. "Can you make sense of it?" "Maybe," she said. "But it'll take time." They spent hours inside the ship, gathering what they could. They found tools, data drives, and a few small devices that looked like weapons. They didn't know what they were, but they took them anyway. As they worked, Logan felt a strange sense of unease. The ship was too clean, too intact. It didn't look like it had crashed. It looked like it had been left here, like it was waiting. "Do you think someone knows this is here?" he asked. "Maybe," Kara said. "But if they did, they haven't come back." They finished their work and returned to the ship. They loaded the salvage into the cargo hold, careful not to damage anything. As they lifted off, Logan looked back at the alien ship, now hidden once more under the dust. "This could change everything," he said. "Maybe," Kara said. "But we don't know what we're dealing with." They flew back to New Carson in silence. The stars above them were the same as always, but something had changed. It found something big. They didn't know what it meant. Back at the colony, the team reported their findings. The council listened, eyes wide with surprise and worry. They knew this was important, but they didn't know how important. Logan and Kara began studying the alien tech. They worked late into the night, trying to understand what they had found. They didn't know it yet, but they were about to unlock secrets that would change the galaxy forever. Meanwhile, far away, in the cold void of space, a signal was sent. It was silent, invisible, but it was heard. The predators had been watching. And now, they were coming. Let me know if you'd like this in a downloadable .docx or TDF format, or if you'd like me to continue with part 2.